Hello everybody, Caden here today with our first official video, at least, on Prehistoric Kingdom. Now, this is the alpha of the game, so not the full release or the beta or anything. This is like the first public release we're able to do videos on. And yeah, so that's what we're doing today. We're taking a look at Prehistoric Kingdom. We did a 2-hour live stream on this yesterday. Well, if you're watching this today, this goes up at least. We did it yesterday. But today we are building a Nasutoceratops exhibit, somewhat inspired by a build I did on that stream. And yeah, that's basically the plan for today. So you can see here we've already set up a basic outline for the exhibit, and I'm actually building what is it called? A viewing, or what do I call these? Like awnings, I guess. I usually call them, or covered viewing areas, basically. I just decided to build this first just because I don't know. I figured it could probably be a good idea to get this all finished up before I start going on and like doing all the training, because this build, much like if you've seen anyone play Planet Zoo, these builds can take a little bit of time because there's a lot of stuff you can do, and it's really fun and cool, and I'm having an absolute blast messing around with all this. It's been incredibly fun. So yeah, anyway, before we really get into much more, if you guys would like to see more of this, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you tell me what dinosaur you want to see out of the ones we have, which I guess I should mention. We have, of course, the Admonosaurus, the Lembeosaurus, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the Styracosaurus. Well, we also have Microraptor, and I guess we could do an episode on that, but that probably wouldn't be a time-lapse, because that's not a super complicated build, I guess. Although we could do some really interesting stuff with it. I've seen some really interesting stuff people have done with all the dinosaurs, and some fantastic exhibits people have made. It's really cool. If you guys don't know what this game is or haven't really checked much out about it, there's a lot of people doing videos on it right now, and I highly suggest you go check them out, because this game is super cool, and I am very excited for the full release later this year. But yeah, anyway, like I said, the basic plan for this exhibit is to do kind of a like swampy, marshy type of exhibit, mostly because that's probably one of my favorite environments to make with the game so far, bar one specific part of that, and that is water. Water in this game is kind of broken a bit. Like, it's got weird hitboxes, basically, when interacting with other things. I'm sure most of that's going to get changed in the coming weeks or days or months, I guess. I don't know, really. Basically, it's going to get fixed as the team basically works out all the bugs and issues during this part of the development and gets everything working again. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, so I decided to do something interesting, I thought, or at least I thought was interesting with this build, and that was making this kind of like a double layered kind of thing. So we've got like this main area down at the bottom with all of our lakes and ponds and whatnot, and then we go up here and we've got our shelter up here, as well as just a higher elevated area. Because I also, if you guys know my channel, you know me, when I build things, I love rock walls. Rock walls are by far one of my favorite things to build, so if I can build them in a game, you can be pretty much assured I'm going to, and you can do some absolutely phenomenal rock work in this game. It's honestly one of my favorite features so far. Just the customization tools and everything. I mean, it's similar in a lot of ways to Planet Zoo, and if you're familiar with that, what you can do with those tools, like, it's just incredible with this game. I think I do kind of like Prehistoric Kingdoms a bit better because they have a few more tools you can use to kind of get a bit more stuff done. But yeah, anyway, over here you can see me basically texturing up the ground, kind of making it look a bit different. We'll come back to that later. But yeah, we're building the shelter now, and this is probably the first full building I think I've built in this game, and I was kind of expecting it to be pretty trash. But it turned out a lot better than I thought it was going to, and I was really happy about that. As with a lot of things in this build, probably, so I'm forgetting how to speak English, basically, but a lot of things in these initial builds are probably going to have a lot of me building something, looking at it for 5 seconds and deciding, this is garbage, so I'm gonna break it and try again. But yeah, that's just kind of what I did, but I think it turned out really well. I'm really happy with this building overall. There's a few issues here and there with like the roof, which could have been I could have worked a bit harder on that, making it look a little bit nicer, but in the end, I think it turned out really nicely, and we got a lot of really interesting stuff done with this. I'm actually, again, just super happy. But yeah, anyway, if you guys are interested in seeing more of this, again, make sure to let me know, and if you're not subscribed and you'd like to see more of these videos, why not subscribe? And keep up to date with all the cool new builds we're going to be doing, because we are going to be doing a lot of Prehistoric Kingdom. Why? Because this game is fantastic, and I probably, as this is going up, I'm probably already recording the next one because I had a great idea for another exhibit, so I really want to do that. But yeah, again, this game is just absolutely fantastic. I'm having an absolute blast playing it, and yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying, or will enjoy seeing more of these videos. They should hopefully be pretty fun. But yeah, anyway, you can see here, I attempted to make a bit of a potted plant area. It turned out okay. I think I should have spent a bit more time on it, but you know, it was all right for what it was. It turned out okay, and you can't really tell. I mean, I don't think you can even see it at the very back of the enclosure, or since it's at the very back of the enclosure from any of the viewing areas. But you know what? I know it's there, and I think it's kind of cool. But anyway, over here, now this may be in the game, but as far as I've seen, it isn't. There aren't any like staff gates in yet, so I tried to make my own, and I think there's some things I could have done to make it look a little bit nicer, but overall, I'm really happy with how it turned out. It, I don't know, it just it has a cool little feel to it. It's very Jurassic Park-esque with using those giant concrete pillars there, but I think, again, it turned out really well. I'm pretty happy with it overall. I might have switched out the top bit on it if I were to do this build again, but who knows, you know? Who knows? But yeah, just again, like, tons of really cool stuff you're able to do with this. I love all the tools. My favorite one being, and I think I'll use it here in a second, this one, which just lets you edit like every single basic property of the prop you're using, which is super nice for doing stuff like this, because it means, you know, you don't have to worry about finding the perfect prop, because you can in essence just create it, and that is super duper cool. Really big fan of that, because you know, it lets me have a bit more creative freedom, although it does, in fact, well, it does in a way also create a problem, and that is I tend to go a bit overboard now with detail, or I have the ability now to go way overboard, because, yeah, I can make any prop I really need, and that's a lot of fun. Oh man, this game is just amazing, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, we're just gonna kind of work on all this. I may have spent a bit too much time working on the shelter and stuff, and I'm sure it won't take quite as long in future videos, just because, you know, I'll get you more used to the building system. Part of it was more, at least for this first thing, was just kind of fighting the building system and figuring out, like, what can I do, what can't I do. And then there were lots of really weird grouping issues with this and some of the other things, but it ended up working out pretty well. Yeah. But, as for the terrain of the exhibit, I think that's actually the last thing we do. I meant to do it first before we got, like, stuck into all these buildings and whatnot, but for some reason I was like, oh yeah, buildings, these sound fun, and then did nothing but work on the shelter, and then the, what was it called? Yeah, the shelter, the gates, the viewing areas, and then eventually I went back and did the terrain. But I really love the terrain for this exhibit as well. I think it turned out really well. It's got, I mean, obviously you guys see like the shape of it all, but when we get the rock walls in, the trees in and everything, it just, oh, it looks absolutely amazing. I am really, again, just enjoying this game and all the amazing fun things you can do with all the terrain tools, all the prop tools, everything. Like, it's just an incredible amount of fun, and you can do some absolutely fantastic builds. Like I said, some people have done some insane stuff already, which kind of blows my mind. It's kind of amazing just how quickly people will take a brand new like game, like with systems like these, and just instantly start pumping out absolutely incredible stuff. It kind of makes me jealous. I wish I was that good. I'm not super great at building in this game yet, or doing anything in this game yet, but getting there. A lot better than I'm better at this than I am at Planet Zoo, oddly enough. But anyway, yeah, I don't really know what else I really have to talk about. We're just kind of finishing this up, and then I start doing rock wall stuff. I do love the rocks in this game. They're absolutely amazing. Again, it's just the joy of this game right now is just customization, and that it's probably one of the most customization heavy games I've played when it comes to building exhibits for anything. Like, there's just so much you can do that it's kind of mind-blowing. But yeah, threw a quick door on there, threw a support beam there. I really like this shelter. I mean, I know it's not super complex or anything, but I think it's got a really nice look to it. And yeah, it fits so perfectly at the back of the enclosure there. I just absolutely love it. Anyway, you're gonna see me going through here now, well, attempting to place bedding down, but then going through with these terrain tools and doing something I like to do with exhibits like these, especially with dinosaur stuff, is making trails where the grass would probably have been, like, you know, crushed down and like worn out basically by the animals constantly walking around. And you got some really cool tools for this. You get some really nice ground textures. And now on to my favorite part, rocks. Rocks in this game are fantastic, as you can see here. Like, just the amount of stuff you can do with them and how, like, I don't even know what they're called. The stretch tool, I'm gonna call it. We'll call it that. The stretch tool basically makes these rocks just absolutely incredible because you can do so much with them so easily, and just you could probably only use one rock piece for an entire rock wall like this, and just purely by changing the shapes and stuff like that and changing the angles of it, you would never know that well, you probably would eventually see like a pattern showing up, but like, you can do an amazing amount with it, and it's super duper cool. And I don't know, I absolutely adore it. It's just fantastic, super duper cool. So yeah, we do 2 rock walls here, basically just kind of building up 3 ramps, kind of, or yeah, 3 ramps, 1 on each end and then 1 in the center of the exhibit. And I think this gives it a really cool look, adds a lot of height variation and stuff like that. Now here is one of the issues I started to have was the rocks were kind of joining into other rock groups that they weren't part of, which was messing up all the angles they were at, which was really weird. And I'm sure it's just me messing up in how I was building, or maybe the hitboxes with the item groupings or whatever are a bit odd. I'm sure it's more like stuff on my side that's like messed up. And oh yeah, and then I accidentally deleted a rock wall by accident. But you know, what do you do? What can you do? It is, again, the game is in like alpha, so it's there's a lot of bugs, but it's great fun. This is actually, ironically enough, the 3rd Nasutoceratops exhibit I've done today, because the first 2 crashed before I finished, and the videos didn't. Well, it just deleted my save, so I couldn't really go back and finish a video on it, unfortunately. But yeah, so I'm really happy that this one works perfectly. So that was really awesome. But yeah, again, just really fun, and I love just all the customization you can do with it. I love all the logs, especially for a build like this. I'm sure, well, okay, so then one of the next builds I want to do, and maybe, again, if I do another video today, it'll probably be that one, but a deserty Tarbosaurus type enclosure, or part of me is maybe thinking some sort of ceratopsid with that, or like I said, that would just be the Styracosaurus, I guess, but some sort of cool deserty exhibit, and I feel like those logs would do really well with that. You could probably make some really cool looking like dead trees and everything with it. So yeah, very much looking forward to working on that. But yeah. Anyway, if you guys have any suggestions for what you want to see next, be it other videos, or not other videos, other things you want me to see me build, or even if you want to see me do the same animals again, but do different exhibits, or if you want to see a full-on just one big zoo instead of these individual exhibit videos like I'm kind of doing right now. Yeah, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear some feedback on what you guys want to see. And yeah, anyway, we're just throwing down the last of the decorations I want to, really just bringing the exhibit to life. And I love, even though there aren't a tremendous amount of plants in the game right now, since we only have like 4 of the biomes that are meant to be in the game out of like 8, I think? Yeah, out of 8. The amount of plants already in the game is amazing, and I have had a blast mixing them all around. I really like the bamboo and the bushes from the temperate biome. Like, they're just really good ground cover, just filling in spaces, and I absolutely adore them. The birch trees as well are really good in this game. I used a lot of those in this build. Again, for those of you who are familiar with my kind of content, I went absolutely insane with the trees because foliage is incredible and adds so much just, I don't know, just life to the exhibit. Well, I guess, is that pun technically? I guess it might be, who knows. But yeah, there's just so much color and vibrancy added to the builds by that, and yeah, so I go absolutely like ape with adding trees and stuff in. And yeah, here's the viewing areas. I was really happy that I built what would you call this? The little design, I guess, ahead of time, because so much easier just to copy paste them. I did have a really weird, I guess, issue with this one, trying to get it to work properly. Didn't work out super well. But I think I figured it out eventually. I couldn't remember. Yeah, okay, there we go. But yeah, just the fact to make, or the ability to make props like this. I know it's something that's in Planet Zoo, but I haven't played enough Planet Zoo to get to this point. But yeah, it was really cool just to make those little covered viewing areas, have that all set up and ready to go for like the beginning of the build, and just plop those over the little glass, the glass parts of the exhibit. So you have a really cool, like, I don't know, just viewing area. I think I'm losing my ability to speak English, which probably is pretty normal for me, I guess. But anyway, I think that's really all I've got to talk about. So I'm going to let you guys watch the rest of this, and I will meet back up with you guys to show off the final build. All right, everyone, here we are with the final exhibit. Now, not much really changed since the time lapse. All I did was add in some little fences here. I actually used railing for this one, but since this one was a bit more weird, I actually ended up just trying to use the short wooden fence, and I actually really like the look of that. I think that actually turned out really cool. But yeah, this is our Nasutoceratops exhibit. I think, what in the... How did... I am very confused as to how this one got out. That's kind of weird. Did it like escape through here? I mean, the whole exhibit's enclosed, I believe, right? There's not like a gap back here, is there? No, that just connects straight up to the building. Okay. Whatever. I'm sure there's a... Oh, no, there's... Where are they escaping from? I want to see, actually. Oh, they're... Oh, you know what it is. It probably is that, yeah, I'm gonna wager it's that, where... Okay, so we probably have to go and, like... If I do like that, now I don't think they should be able to run through the fences. I'm going to assume, because now technically it's a complete enclosure. Let's see. Oh, we got one approaching the fence now. No, they're just walking straight through. You know, there must be another connection point I missed or something. That is actually really hilarious. But you know what? We're going to ignore that for now, and we're just going to take a look at the enclosure. So overall, I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. I don't know, it's just got a really cool look to it. Now, I know I didn't use all the plants from just the, what is it, the wetlands area, but I thought using some of these trees, I think they're from the temperate, or let me actually look, what are these? Yeah, temperate. Plants give it a really good, like, I don't know, just kind of swampy, marshy vibe, and I don't know, I think it looks really, really cool. I'm really happy with this overall build. And surprisingly, two of the things I'm most happy with, I mean, I love the environment. I think the environment is really cool, but I have to say, I think the two things I love the most is this, of all things, and the shelter. I mean, there are some issues with it, and obviously there's some clipping issues right now with the textures. Again, this is just an alpha, so, you know, there's gonna be bugs, basically. But I really love this shelter. This is the first time I've actually built a shelter in a game like this, you know, like, which is like a lot like Planet Zoo in the building aspect of it. But yeah, the first time I've really built something in there that hasn't just looked horrific. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with this. I think it turned out really nicely. You guys can let me know what you think, but I also really love the little viewing areas. I think these look really cool as well. But yeah, I was really happy with how this has turned out. I think I still need to figure out some stuff with like grouping. I'm sure I've mentioned that in the time lapse, but basically like when I was working on these rocks, sometimes things like logs or rocks over here would end up in the same group as this, so it would keep changing the rotation from what I wanted it, which was really annoying, but I'm sure as, you know, obviously the game updates more and I just get more comfortable with it. I mean, it's only been out a day by now, so yeah, not really not really a tremendous amount of time out to play it yet, but yeah, for our first official video build type thing, I am incredibly happy with how this has turned out. I think this is a really nice exhibit. And yeah, I'm really excited to build more exhibits. So anyway, let me know what other builds you guys would love to see. Well, we only have like 5 dinosaurs. We do have a Microraptor, but that's not really an episode kind of animal, I guess. But yeah, we got the Admonosaurus, Limbeosaurus, Styracosaurus, and of course the Tyrannosaurus, and I guess technically the Tarbosaurus as well, since that's a subspecies of the T-Rex. In this game, but yeah, if you guys would like to, or not subspecies, but like a subgroup. But basically, yeah, let me know in the comments down below what other animal you want to see next, and yeah, we'll get right on to that. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed this. I hope you're all looking forward to more Prehistoric Kingdom coming up, and until next time, guys, see ya.